Often, if you're feeling stuck in life and maybe you're in a rut or you've hit a wall and you just can't make progress anymore, then I think the best and simplest thing for you to do is just start reading. Reading really is the best way to expand your knowledge and grow your skill set, learn from the very best in their field and at hardly any cost. But what I think no one talks about is what I believe to be the biggest impact of reading, and that is that it's a constant reminder and statement to yourself that you are committed to getting better every single day. So in short, in my opinion, reading is just a reminder to your subconscious and conscious brain that you are dedicated to developing yourself. And the beauty in this is that you don't need to spend hours and read 50 pages every single day to get any benefits from reading, because whilst reading itself is amazing because you obviously gain all this knowledge, but in this sense, just the act of reading itself, even if it be for 5 minutes, is enough to trigger that state of mind for the rest of the day, which will set you up and influence every action you take. And because actions lead to results, and results leads to identity, that will start the whole cycle of improving a life. And if in this sense reading is simply a trigger to behaviour change, then it would make sense, to me at least, to read first thing in the morning. Then you can get the biggest impact and compounding effect throughout the day, because just by nature you'll be doing more things after the morning than, say, if you're reading at 5 p.m, because you've only got a few hours to actually implement this new identity that you've got. So overall, that really is just my view on reading and why it is so beneficial. And now, maybe if I've persuaded you, I'll give you some strategies to actually implement reading into your life, even if you are really busy and don't have time, because you only need 5 minutes. So step 1 is to just find a book on an area of life that you're interested in. And don't overthink this, so don't go thinking, what's the best book that You might be thinking, is this author good enough? Maybe I should choose this book because that's got better ratings, but it doesn't matter, because remember, the reading is just a trigger for your actions. It's not the actual content itself necessarily. It's just, as long as the book is aligned to the general area that you want to go in, then it should work just fine. Now, step 2 is to just set aside and schedule a specific time that you're gonna read it, and consistently every single day. So for me, I always do this in the morning on my bus ride, which is about 10 to 15 minutes long. Again, best the earlier on in the day it is, but it's more consistency is first, and then the specific time is second. Because whenever you're trying to build a new habit, it's always best to build the habit first and then improve the habit. So don't get caught up too much. Maybe if you have a job and you drive to the job and you can't read when you're driving, so you won't be able to read in the morning, then read when you can. But yeah. And that really is pretty much how I go about my own reading. And to make it more effective, you can take notes or maybe screenshot particular ideas or passages that you think will really be useful in your life. And it can be good to take 1 or 2 ideas that you'll bring forward throughout the day that you can work on and have in your mind, so that you can get this immediate application of the knowledge that you read. In addition, if you can't read, then podcasts are an excellent option as well, because again, it's not the reading itself, it's just the triggering of that identity, and podcasts will do just the same. So now that we've covered why you should read and then how you should read, I'll just give you some book recommendations that I found the most impactful for my mindset, and then a few podcast recommendations as well, if that's what you want to do. And now I'm not going to just give you a whole list of the best self-improvement books, because you can go Google that and find other resources. I'm just going to tell you the books which have helped me in my own life the best, and which have been especially impactful. Now, the first book, which has been by far the most influential for me, is The One Thing by Gary Keller and another dude. This genuinely changed my life, and it just talks about prioritizing basically tasks and reframing how you think about achieving stuff and doing stuff, and it really gave you clarity and direction in life, so go check that out. Now, the second book that I'm currently reading is called Level Up by Rob Dial, and he also has a great podcast called The Mindset Mentor, which I really recommend. Although, to be fair, if you listen to 5 of his episodes, you've basically listened to them all, but it's more for the vibes, and again, it's just that triggering of identity of this is who I want to be. The third book is Deep Work by Cal Newport. This just taught me a lot about focusing and getting work done effectively. A similar book is Atomic Habits by James Clear, and this is all just about habit change. And in the book, he actually talks about identity change, so kind of drawing those connections to the video, but that's a good one if you want to build new habits and break old habits. Fifth book is Miracle Morning by Hal Elrod. Book 6 is The Compound Effect by Darryl Hardy. This just talks about how the little actions that you take today will end up with massive consequences in the future, whether that be good consequences or bad consequences. So it's just everything you do now matters. So do good things. And the seventh and final book on my list is Why We Sleep by Dr. Matthew Walker. People, sleep is good. So they were just some of my favourite books, and of course there's many, many more that I am yet to read and will maybe never read, but you pick for yourself and just see what you're interested in. And to just finish off, I'll give you my 3 top podcast recommendations if you can't read. Not literally, if practically you can't read. Number 1 is The Mindset Mentor, as I mentioned. It's all for the vibes. Number 2 is genuinely my favourite podcast in the world, and that is Modern Wisdom. Especially episodes 700 to 800, they're really good for self-improvement stuff. And then finally Huberman Lab by Dr. Andrew Huberman. He talks about everything in science. Any topic, he's got an episode on it. And the good thing about his episodes is that they're very practical and you can apply them to your own life. It's not just kind of theoretical science, it's actually how you can use science but to improve yourself. So there we have it, just my thoughts on reading, why you should read, how you can implement it into your life, even if you're busy, and then my book recommendations and podcast recommendations. If you enjoyed, please do like the video, but only if you did like it. Don't like it if you didn't like it. Can't be giving me false hope. And I'll see you in the next one.